Hi, I'm Tom, one of the technical team here at Sevadis. Let's talk about dynamic load management with the Sevadis MaxiCharger. Load management is a smart and reliable way to maintain consistent power to your electric vehicles without overloading your building's electrical system. In turn, this protects the grid, which is good for everyone. Dynamic load management is used when there's a varying power requirements on site, e.g. heavy machinery or power usage spikes. Dynamic load management is also useful on a site with restricted power supply. It allows multiple chargers to be installed without requiring a costly electrical infrastructure upgrade. Dynamic load management on a MaxiCharger is enabled by adding an Eastron load balancing meter and CT clamps to your electrical supply. These meters and CT clamps can be purchased via a wholesaler network or at sevadis.com. The meter and CT clamp monitor the building's power supply and usage and redistribute the remaining available power to the electrical vehicle chargers. With load management systems, we usually recommend allowing a power reserve of 10% to allow for fluctuations in the building power usage. As an example, a building has 50 amps with a dynamic load management system set for 2 chargers and a power reserve of 10%. The building uses 15 amps for air conditioning. The load management meter and CT clamps will register this and only allow the 2 chargers 30 amps to charge the electric vehicles. If the building's usage increases to 20 amps, then the power will be distributed to the chargers will be reduced to 25 amps. The 10% power reserve remains steady at 5 amps and the chargers can never use this, only the building can. The maximum power the chargers could ever take is 45 amp due to the power reserve set. It's important to note that all chargers being load managed must be on the same network. This is because chargers communicate to each other via a primary and secondary arrangement on a connected network. Configuring a dynamic load management system is made up of 3 steps. Step 1, wiring your load management meter to the clamps and the power supply. Step 2, connecting the meters and the clamps to the charger via a Cat5 data cable. Step 3, app configuration. You need a single phase or 3-phase load management meter and clamp, a Cat5 data cable to connect your meter to the charger, and access to the Autel Config Installers app to configure. You can buy 100, 250, 600 amp meters and clamps from a wholesaler network or direct from sevadis.com. Please follow the steps in order. Wiring your meters needs to come before you configure your charger. So step 1, wiring your meter is as follows. Let's start with the 3-phase version. You will need 1 Eastron meter and 3 CT clamps. These will be preset to the specifications you have requested. Included with the meter is a connector block. You will use this block when connecting the clamps to the meter. The 3-phase load management meter has a voltage reference and an auxiliary power supply. So the termination to the meter is as follows. Neutral, L3, L2, L1, L1, neutral. They're in order respectively, so terminal 1 is neutral, terminal 2 is L3, and terminal 3 is L2, and so on. The first step is to connect the meter to the power supply. To do this, you need to bridge the connections from the terminals at the meter, add an additional cable from L1, terminal 4, and bridge into L1 at terminal 5. And the same for the neutral at terminal 1 to bridge into the neutral at terminal 6. Next, you need to connect your meters to the CT clamps and the CT clamps to the main incoming electrical supply. Connecting the meter to the CT clamps involves connecting one end of the supplied RJ12 cable to the meter and the other end to the supplied connector block. Next, add the CT clamp into the incoming supply by clicking open and snapping shut. The clamps are split core CTs, which avoids electrical disruption when installed. Make sure the arrow on the clamp is facing the flow of the electricity. Once the clamps are connected to the main supply, connect the respective phases into the appropriate positions on the connector block. Once that's complete, your wiring should be all set and ready to connect to the charger. No configurations needed on the meters as they're preset to your specified amount. For single-phase meter wiring, follow these steps. Connect the CT clamp to the single-phase meter with the black cable at terminal 1 and the white cable at terminal 2. On the top of the meter, there is a terminal 3 for a neutral connection and terminal 4 for the live connection. Connect them up. For reference, the Cat5 cable terminal points are 9 for A and 10 for B. Step 2, connecting the meter and the clamp to the charger. To connect to the charger, you're going to need a data cable. Cat5 or above is suitable. You will only need 1 Cat5 cable per load management meter, as the meter only needs to connect to 1 charger. The chargers communicate to each other via a primary and secondary arrangement over a connected network. Using 2 cords of the Cat5 cable, connect one into the B- and the other into the A+ terminal. and then connect the other end of the cable into your primary charger and connect into the corresponding B- and A+ at the charger. The correct wiring process is crucial for accurate and efficient monitoring your building supply and relaying the information back to your chargers. Once the meter is connected, check the meter is displaying the appropriate values. If the values are reading as negative, check the CT clamp is facing the right direction. Let's talk step 3, app configuration. Dynamic load management only works when the load management meter and clamp are wired and connected to the power supply and charger, and all the chargers are connected on the same network and configured via the Autel config app. You need to make sure you have the latest version of firmware on the app. Connect to your primary charger through the Autel config app and connect to Bluetooth. Once connected to the charger, select load balancing, and if you're setting a system with more than one charger, select adaptive power sharing multiple. Then turn on the smart meter. This confirms a connection from the meter to the charger. If the message "can't connect to compatible meter" appears, then check that you have the right terminations on your data cable on the meter and the charger, clear the existing primary charger, and then retry the initial setup on the meter on the app. Once the smart meter has been turned on, you're able to go through and set the available power, power reserve and number of phases. Then select the secondary chargers to add your load management group. When the secondaries have been connected, you can set your power sharing group, enter the available power in a kilowatt value, then set the power reserve, which is set at a percentage of the available power. Reserving a set amount of available power from the building is a safety feature. For example, if you set 100 amps as available power and a 10% power reserve, the actual available power becomes 90 amps and 10 amps is reserved and will never be used by the chargers. After all these parameters have been set, select save and you should see a display showing the charge power, meter power and available power. Charge power is what the chargers are delivering, meter power is what the building is using, and the available power is the total power set for the building. There you have it, your dynamic load management system is set up and good to go. If you want to know about static load management or cloud-based load management and how to set the systems up, check out our specific videos on them. If you have any questions, get in touch with us here at Sevadis. Thanks for watching.